96.7 KCAL rocks. We have to talk some sports because the NFL has gone mad. Pep, help us. What's going on in my life?
You know, when we tried to warn everybody this past Monday, I came on and said, hey, it's going to be like a ripple effect. They're going to fall like dominoes. Once the first big name NFL quarterback makes a decision, all these things are going to start falling into place. Bang! Tuesday, Aaron Rodgers says he will stay in Green Bay. And Patrick, you probably remember more than I do because you're a big Seattle Seahawks fan. What was it, like an hour later when the Seahawks announced that Russell Wilson was going to the Denver Broncos?
Pep, you tried to tell me, and I did not listen because when I got hit with the Russell Wilson news, it was totally left field. I thought for sure he was going to at least play one more year in Seattle. I don't blame Seattle for doing it, but in terms of shock, I was stunned.
I was stunned too. Like, I didn't see that coming. Like, I thought Russell Wilson might be on the move. I did not think Denver. I thought Denver was all in on Aaron Rodgers, and I just kind of fully expected that Aaron was like, okay, I'm done with Green Bay. It was a nice ride, but I got to go somewhere else. And Denver, the Broncos were like the likely spot for Aaron Rodgers this whole entire conversation when we've been talking about him possibly leaving Green Bay. So for him not to go to Denver and then literally like 60 minutes or an hour later for Russell Wilson of all people to go to Denver, that's how bad the Broncos wanted a new quarterback, and they went out there and, outside of Aaron Rodgers and or the retired Tom Brady, Russell Wilson was probably the big name out there, and now he's joining Denver in a loaded AFC West.
And funny to have, like, Denver came out afterwards to try to say, like, no, Russell was our target the whole time. We were never interested in Aaron Rodgers.
Right. They
like,
said
it happened very quickly after the Aaron Rodgers deal. You were very quickly all in on Russ.
They said this was weeks in the making.
Right.
Also, a side note, Greg Olsen, who played tight end for the Seahawks last year, he said that one of the reasons Russell wanted out is because that roster was like playing with the JV team.
Yeah, and in the NFC West, we've talked about it, the Rams are Super Bowl champions, the 49ers are going to be really good again. We've seen the rise of Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. It is not easy to win in the NFC West right now, and if you're Russell Wilson and you're not surrounded by a bunch of good players who are going to make a serious run, it's not going to be fun, man. It's going to be a hard year in the NFC West. And now he goes to the AFC West. And I don't know if it gets any easier, but at least he's going to he's inheriting a very good Denver Broncos team where a lot of people are saying they're a, playoff caliber team, maybe a Super Bowl run. Who knows?
We're going to find out if it's the JV team or if it's Russ.
I mean, I think that puts them kind of third place in that division. I don't think it quite puts them above the Chargers quite yet, and obviously not above the Chiefs.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. Especially the quarterbacks in the AFC West. Justin Herbert with the Chargers, Patrick Mahomes with the Chiefs, Derek Carr with the Raiders, and now Russell Wilson.
Think about it like this. That moon ball that he throws like a zillion feet in the air, that's going to go like 30 feet higher.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, in the Mile High City. My favorite part was Broncos wide receiver Jerry Jeudy when Aaron Rodgers announced he was not leaving Green Bay. He tweeted out like a sad face, and then like an hour later it was like, "Oh, we lit," and then he tweeted out a happy face because they got Russell Wilson. And again, maybe the Broncos were saying Russell Wilson was their guy all along, but come on, man, the timing of it all, like there's no way.
Right.
He's also going to Nathaniel Hackett, so it's a pass-happy offense.
Yes.
So we're going to see if Russell can spray it around like he says he wants to. There's a lot of people who think he can't do that.
Yeah, and like we said, the Broncos should be pass-happy. They've got some good young receivers and a pretty good defense as well. So again, if Russell Wilson was, because he could have vetoed the trade. Like he could have said no to the trade, but there was probably a couple spots, including Denver, where he's like, okay, I want to win, and I want to win now. I'm not going to go to another rebuild. If I want that, I'll stay in Seattle. So Denver was probably one of those spots, and he could see the roster and the coaches and say, hey, they're ready to win now. Even though the AFC West is going to be tough, they're ready to win right now. And in my personal opinion, I feel like the NFC is a harder road to get to the Super Bowl than the AFC, despite Kansas City. So maybe he thought go even having Kansas City in the same division, he had a better shot of getting back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, I heard Washington and Philly were actually in on trying to get Russ as well, but he was not willing to waive the trade clause to go to those two teams, instead going to Denver.
Like, get him in the AFC.
Yeah, they're not ready to win like Denver is. And speaking of Washington and NFC squad, they went out and got Carson Wentz. That was another domino that fell, right? Carson Wentz from the Colts, now the quarterback for the Washington Commanders.
Commander Wentz, the first commander.
Yeah, that was another one where it's like, wow, this just keeps happening. Is another one going to happen today? That one, I wasn't really sure if the Colts had totally, I know Jim Irsay was saying it, Frank Reich was saying it. It seemed like they were so all in, especially Frank Reich. And then all of a sudden, boom, I guess you're out. That's the NFL.
Fell out of love quickly when they were looking like they were shooing for the playoffs. When that collapsed, I think a lot of that fell on Carson.
That interception.
That was a massive collapse at the end of the season, losing to Jacksonville in that final game. Like that was just a really bad look for a Colts team that a lot of people were excited about, right? They were already presuming the Colts were going to be in the playoffs, and a lot of people, these experts, were saying, the Colts is probably that sleeper team. Like if you're thinking about a team that no one's talking about that could make a Super Bowl run, it was Indianapolis, and then they didn't even make the playoffs. So
they had all the hype of the in-season Hard Knocks and everything too, and then it was just so anticlimactic.
Yep. And the next quarterback that could be on the move, I guess Derek Carr's name, the Raiders quarterback, is still out there, being, tied to not only, I think was it the Colts? There was another. The Browns were interested, assuming they moved Baker Mayfield. So, this might not stop for a while with these, rotating musical chairs for quarterbacks.
Hey, Seattle, let's pick up DC.
I think there's even talks of maybe Indy trying to go after like a Kirk Cousins trying to make a trade happen with the Vikings or something like that too.
Run the offense, give it to Taylor. I could see that would help Kirk Cousins out a lot. He wouldn't have to do that much. Give it to the kid.
And then one big puzzle piece will actually kind of fall into place tomorrow with Deshaun Watson. The grand jury is going to be hearing some evidence tomorrow, and I think that'll be a big determination of however that goes on whether or not teams will be willing to trade for him or whether or not he's going to kind of go away.
How funny is that? They should just turn NFL Network into court TV.
Right. Deshaun Watson, that's another big question mark just kind of out there, right? Is Deshaun Watson going to play again? And if he does, where is it going to be? I think Deshaun Watson, his legal status and when he's going to return to the NFL and where is a big question mark. And then Tom Brady too, right? We still don't know. None of us are really convinced he's retired. So if he comes out of retirement, those two quarterbacks, again, could really shake things up once more in the NFL with all these quarterbacks being on the move.
It's fun.
Yeah, we still have free agency. We still have the draft. There's a lot that's going to happen to these teams to reshape them before the next season starts.
I am glad that we at least got something for Russell, too, speaking of the draft. So let's get a team.
You got
at least got something.
You got a lot of something.
That was the theory. If we would have hung on to him another year, then we would have got rid of him. We would have got nothing. At least we got something. So I was just happy about that.
8 somethings, 3 players, 5 picks.
I will take
you guys got a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys made a haul, but he's worth it, man. He's Russell Wilson, so that's the steep asking price, right, for a guy like Russell Wilson. Patrick, real quick before we move off the NFL, you brought up Bobby Wagner, the longtime linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks. He's an Ontario native. And there's talks that he might end up with the LA Chargers. He might be coming to Southern California, so that'd be pretty cool if that happens.
For me and for a lot of Seattle fans, this hurts even more than the Russell Wilson thing, dude. Bobby Wagner was the most unstoppable force, and I have to admit, with both of those players, and I told 40 this immediately, the second I heard that I lost him, I was like, ooh, I missed their durability already. They were never hurt, and I really am going to miss that because that is rare.
As an Eagle fan, too, I selfishly was like, oh, man, linebacker available, let's go get him. But then as soon as I heard, or he could come home to either one of the 2 LA teams that are both good, I'm like, that makes all the sense in the world.
Yep.
Come on into KCAL, Bobby. We'll bring you in. Dude. It would be cool, but I am going to miss him so much. He is an amazing player, and I think he still has it. And now he's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's going to be great. For whoever team gets him, he's going to be great.
Yeah, hopefully he comes to SoCal, to one of the LA teams. But it's the end of an era in Seattle. A lot of those star players for those great Seattle teams are gone.
Those are the last 2.
Yeah.
They're all gone after Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner left. The Super Bowl team is no more.
You're exactly right. And finally, guys, it might feel like I'm trying to bury the Lakers, but I'm not trying to bury the Lakers. I'm just reporting the scores, just do my job. Lakers lost last night at Houston in overtime, an ugly loss, 139-130. LeBron was great, triple-double for LeBron, but the Lakers still lose. Sound like a broken record. That's kind of been their story all season long, right? LeBron putting up these great games, and the Lakers still lose. They're not going to catch the Clippers in the Western Conference standings. They're probably going to be in the play-in tournament, and it's going to be an uphill battle the rest of the way for the Lakers.
They couldn't get that one player to just kind of help LeBron out a little bit. You know what I mean? He just needs one player to help him. It happened the other night. He just needs a little bit of help, and he can win the game. But nope.
They tried to bring in a player. They just brought in a big old anchor that has weighed the team down to the fact that, like, Westbrook is not bringing his kids to the game anymore because Laker fans have, like, completely turned on him at this point.
And he's complaining like crazy and whining to the media and don't call me Westbrook and arguing with fans.
Yeah.
Don't do that, kids out there. They're trying to get a reaction out of you. Don't do that.
Yeah, and it's working. Don't let it. It's working. It's working on the Lakers right now, and it's not pretty. And I'd say get some young guys in there who want to defend. Right? Hey, get some young guys in there who are hungry and want to play defense, and then, work around LeBron. So, I don't know. That's just my take.
You don't want to be called Westbrook. Stop bricking the ball. Yeah. How about that?
It's funny.
Westbrook, yeah. Yeah. It's true, though, right? When you go 2 for 16 from the floor or whatever, yeah, you're Westbrook.
Yeah, just take it.
Pep, am I to get your stuff?
Hey, you can get my stuff on Inland Sports. That's Inland Sports Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. That's Inland Sports, the YouTube channel as well. Check it out, guys.